Welcome to a special edition of the Mexican Soccer Show. I am Wiso, and these guys you know very much from the Twitter land. We're finally together in this studio. Tom, Cesar?
Studio.
Right, studio. It's actually a spare bedroom right over there. Was Tom sleeping? He's staying with me this weekend. But for those of you that are joining us, thank you for taking the time here at the Mexican Soccer Show. We have a lot to talk about. Talk about Cuba, talk about the game that's coming up on Sunday. But first, I want to ask these guys how they're doing, especially with the heat.
Yeah, man, dude, I'm like, my hands a little sweaty, but like I'm still a little sweaty. Like I can't deal with this weather. Like I'm warm.
It's a dry heat, guys.
No, I get warm easily.
Tom,
so like,
but you were Orlando.
No,
you cannot wear a jacket. You're.
Oh, yeah, it's just.
At least here you can go out there and you're gonna see everyone.
I don't know.
I learned that. I'm not wearing an undershirt. Like yesterday I was wearing an undershirt, but today I learned.
All right. Well, we got a great show for you guys today. Having these guys in Phoenix definitely had the opportunity to get together and do this. We set up a little different, and I think it's worked with the little table. It looks a little more professional, especially with us being crammed into this area. But we're going to talk about Cuba. We're going to talk about the news, Mexico arriving in Phoenix, as you've seen in some of the posts. And then we're also going to, kind of preview what's happening in Guatemala, the news that we have from the camps, and any formation news that we do have. But yeah, guys, how ready to go?
Yeah,
let's
do it. Let's do it.
All right. Well,
next to get the comment section.
Comment
on the
section.
video, and send us questions or comments or anything.
We have these laptops for a reason, so Tom's going to be on those questions answering if you ever need anything, so we're there. We have the cool thing is that we have the opportunity to just talk at the time. We don't have to stop for someone, so it might get a little bit too rowdy, but we're here to have fun. Mexico obviously played Cuba, so let's talk about that right away, guys. The Cuban team, where a lot of people were wanting a 13-0, a 12-0, which probably could have happened, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing is that I feel like there's a few people out there on Twitter who I don't know. I think they agreed with me. I think it should have been more. I think it should have been 10-0.
Can you fault Mexico for not scoring more?
Dude, they had 44 shots. They had 44 shots that night, and then you saw some of the stuff that Oribe was doing. I thought, even though Oribe had that hat trick, like I didn't think he had that good of a game. To be perfectly honest, it's just weird. It's weird to say someone had a hat trick and didn't do that well, and that makes me a little worried. I know. It was good.
He was upset. He was definitely upset, saying at the end of the game, people saying something about him not being 100% at the end of the game, saying I should have scored more because you don't want to let go of those opportunities. I like that part.
Yeah.
But to say, you know what, we should score 13, 12,
I think
and it was a bad result.
It's a difficult one because those kind of games, it's like the difference in class is just absolutely all over. You know, like Cuba, like for the problems, it's pretty sad, but they only had like 16 available players. I mean, that's not like a professional level. I don't think it looks good for the Gold Cup in general to have a team like that, and it's sad for the Cubans, obviously. But then they go up against a Mexico team with this powerful, economic, mighty giant of the region, going into the first game with
that's very good. Yeah,
economic, with 55,000 people in Chicago, all going for Mexico, and it's like obviously everything's weighed in favor of Mexico winning the game.
Yeah,
I think that was a good performance, as good as you're gonna get.
Yeah, like I was saying, I mean, one thing is they took it seriously. He kept saying it. Piojo kept saying it. Some people were like, you're scoring, or the way that I've seen criticized. I don't know about you guys criticizing Piojo about the celebration, Gio celebration. And one thing that I liked about Piojo, and I'm sure you guys saw on the press conferences, was he's just like taking this guy seriously 100% and not letting go. Yeah. The gas is it's giving Cuba respect.
Yeah, and here's the thing: there's like I know I criticize the finishing, I know I criticize all that, but it's good. Mexico needed that win. They needed a heavy victory in their favor because with all the stuff that's been happening recently, and the senior national team, it's not the only one that's been struggling this year. It's been at the U20 World Cup there was some frustrations. The Women's World Cup, obviously there were low expectations that team to do well. Copa America was awful. So for a while it's been pretty difficult to be a Mexico fan. There's been little to be excited about. So that set the pace, that set the tone. That was good. That was
the first step.
It's a boost in self-esteem, not only nationally, but for fans as well. So I think
the menos amas kept saying, let's take it. They won. They didn't win 1-0. I mean, I think if it was a 1-0 win, there were some problems. A 2-0, but 6-0. There's still, subbed. He tried to get whatever he wanted to see. I don't think you can take anything, especially tactically, from this game that he said he needed to see in order for him to prepare for Guatemala. We
played like 2 defenders.
Which Guatemala, again, didn't look so well in their first game either.
I mean, the only thing I'd say is that tactically with the 4-4-2, it's so attacking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Layun and Aguilar play like the wing-backs.
Yeah.
And I think we take that from the game. And I think that when you play like the likes of United States or Costa Rica, it might be a struggle because you've got players that are going to try and go in behind the fullbacks. And I think a positive, if you're going against a team like Cuba, against Honduras, will definitely be doing the same. I think it just overloads the midfield and the forward in the last third. And that's why Mexico had 40 shots, because they were always in that attacking third because they had all the players there. But it's risky against a better team. But I think that we've seen Mexico in 2013, same story, just find it really difficult to break teams down. And I think this 4-4-2 formation, obviously, it was Cuba. You can't read too much.
I feel like he should have switched the formation. It looks like maybe the 4-4-2 was Costa Rica on that pregame. And Cuba would have that, 3 strikers. I know that he couldn't do it in Chicharito. Was that always the plan, Tom? To have those 3 strikers up there? Chicharito injured, changed everything.
Yeah, well, I think that the 5-3-2, I think there was a key phrase in one of his press conferences. He said, he's not, teams are playing against us a certain way, and he wants to kind of like circumnavigate that by coming up with a new formation. But I think the style's the same. It's aggressive, it's high pressing, it's getting people forward, getting a lot of people in front of the ball, which if you watch Mexico games, it's crazy sometimes. They'll have it in midfield and they'll be like 6 players, 7 players all looking for the ball in front.
Exactly.
It is attacking, but it's I think it's another option. I think the 5-3-2 is still there. Yeah, I mean, these players, we've got the majority from the World Cup.
But then who would we bring in? Who would be an extra defender that we bring in for the 5-2? Are we going to bring in Yasser Corona? Are we going to bring in...
I think you just bring in Alanis.
And
the worry there is that he hasn't
played the 5-3-2 with El Tri.
And he's done pretty well.
The problem with him is, I like him. I think he's a really good player, and he's left-footed, which is key.
Yeah.
But the problem is he hasn't played since back in April.
Yeah.
So he'd be going in, especially if he's not playing in these group stage games. So he'd be going in. So it would be difficult.
And I don't think and we won't be able to see that 5-3-2 until
semi-final, maybe final.
Yeah,
if something comes in, so we might see something. Just to recap, Cuba. They did whatever they needed to do. They won the game. They scored. Peralta. No one had Peralta scoring more than maybe 1-2 goals. It was kind of interesting to see that. But
was that a Peralta jersey that just fell as you were just talking about that?
Oh my goodness, it is. Peralta.
Oh, that's a little weird.
Over here. So interesting, got his hat trick. But what else can we get from this game? And it's rhythm, right? Rhythm of the team. It's going to take a couple for them, especially with the vacations. Or I know you're seeing them more in practice. Is everybody 100% now? Because it looked a little bit, people were a little slow. Hector Herrera. I really like what Piojo did. In one of his press conferences, he said, you know what? He was coming in with a bad rhythm. And then I put in, Rios in there. And Hector Herrera kind of stepped it up.
Yeah.
Even though
I still think Hector Herrera's actually, I think he's been a little bit of a letdown so far in the past few games. I haven't really been too impressed with him. Maybe I have such high expectations for Hector Herrera, but...
Does it feel like he's not having fun? Or I don't know why I'm getting this, very serious, not, something bothering
maybe we're just used to, seeing him do, 1 or 2 special moves per game because we aren't really seeing that. It seems like his game's a little off. But personally, I don't think he's really done that well.
No, I don't think he has. I mean, still time for him to get into this tournament. He's so vital for Mexico. But I think the reason is that he's come off a long season in Europe, and he's one of the very few Mexican players that actually plays week in, week out.
Yeah.
Got to the later stages of the Champions League. Yeah. So, and then he comes to Mexico. Then you have a little gap.
And then there's that gap.
Then you're back.
When anyone's playing, they have that gap.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the Copa America players, they went right into it.
Yeah.
And they started playing right away, and a big difference between stop playing for 4 weeks and then trying to come back into the rhythm.
Yeah.
If any of you guys play, I mean, it's what it
is.
And
it was a successful season for him too. He won he was voted as the player of the season for Porto.
Yeah.
Too. So
I mean, I think the question with Herrera is they're putting him on the right.
Yeah.
It's like that. What does that mean? Is he not Mexico's best central midfielder by quite a long way? With what he's done in Europe, should Herrera not necessarily should he not be all right? Herrera's not playing that well, but let's just play him
in there.
If he's a bit tired, we'll we'll rest him against Trinidad or we'll rest him here or there. They'll be like, should Hector Herrera not be the focus of this team, considering, you know.
But are you assuming that Giovani dos Santos can't do that can't take over that role? I think he's done a decent job.
No, he did well, and he's a top player. But is he as good at locking defenses? Is he as good at driving forward? I'd say no. I'd say that if you're going to play Giovani dos Santos,
you think either or?
No, I think they can do it. I think it worked against Cuba, but I just don't think. I don't think you're taking advantage of Herrera, who's one of Mexico's best players, and the key player, because we don't. Mexico doesn't have many goals coming from midfield, and I think Herrera is one of those players that you can drive forward, and I think that's missing when Giovani dos Santos and Gaito.
What Mexico could try, and that's what I was thinking about when they announced the lineup, is they could switch Herrera and Giovani dos Santos. Giovani dos Santos, he's played with Villarreal at the right mid position, and then Herrera will be in that more centrally midfield role. That's something that could potentially happen. I don't think it will happen. It doesn't seem like it at this point, but I feel like that wouldn't be a bad idea.
I mean, I think he prefers Herrera's kind of ability to run with the ball down the right, whereas Giovani dos Santos doesn't quite have that.
It's like he's got the Barcelona. Like as soon as he got two passes ahead of what's coming, you see him already knowing that he's going to pass it over here. He's like, little calm down, we're not that build up some kind of play.
But I think with the midfield like that, you've got Guardado, who's obviously played pretty much all this year in the middle. You've got Herrera, who plays in the middle. Giovani dos Santos, whose best position is defensive midfield. Gaito Vasquez, defensive midfield. But it's actually quite interesting because you've got Herrera on the right and Guardado on the left. And they kind of cut inside. They've been given freedom, so they'll cut inside, move forward. And then you've got Aguilar and Layun who are like, all right, I'll move up. and they overlap.
And pretty soon we only have two defenders.
So that's the thing, though. This can work, and I think we could continue. The scary thing for other opposition, other than maybe USA and Costa Rica, is maybe we can continue doing this up until maybe potentially the semifinal stage. But what's going to hurt, what's going to hurt is we're going to run into something in the final. We're going to run into Costa Rica or the US, and suddenly our defense is going to be tested, and it's gonna be ridiculous, and then we might see something bad from Reyes, we might see something bad from Massa. Layun and Aguilar might actually have to start defending. So that's my only word. But we got to take this one step at a time. I think what currently I like the way they're playing. I like seeing Layun is essentially. I mean, he almost looked like a straight up just winger, not even just like a wing back at all. That guy was pressing so high. But
he can do it.
Yeah, no, I think he had a great game. He had like I said, he had like 3,000 crosses.
Well, I mean, who scored?
Who scored? Come on, pick that stuff
up.
Who
scored if you're watching? Please pick that up. That's what I want to do.
Start covering the Gold Cup, man.
Looking back, they did it. They won, and golear, gustar, y ganar, the 3 Gs, and that's where it was. How are the players afterwards, Tom? Cesar, talking to the players afterwards, did you guys get to chat with anyone coming out after session?
Layun spoke, Guardado spoke, Moises Munoz was there. He didn't really do much.
I think it's just because there's a lot of people who want to speak to him in English. So I think that's why Munoz is a popular person. But everyone seemed pretty calm for the most part.
They took it seriously, and they were like, look, this isn't the end of the tournament. We're not out celebrating tonight because we've beaten Cuba 6-0. But, we did the professional job. We got it done, and now it's over, I think the key phrase from after that game was Herrera. And he said, we didn't come to win a game, we came to win the cup. And that was the key phrase, and it was a nice thing.
And it looked like everybody's answer was the same. We're going to respect Cuba by going 100%. Like every single answer that we kept hearing is like, because the other reporter said, you played Cuba. And, scoring 8-0, when would you lay off? He's like, and I heard Guardado, I heard Piojo just kind of saying that, disrespecting him would be not playing them 100% and not wanting to score.
And they were playing 100%. They were pushing for those late goals at the very end. There was no need to do that. But, I mean, as a fan, it's exciting to see that. But
it's a different perspective because we're used to maybe in other sports. Well, you already beat. There's no. I mean, especially like football or anything like that.
The goals, don't they? They want to go. All the individuals want to. Vela wants to get on the score sheet. And
basketball, there's 20 seconds left. You're down by 20. Might as well not do anything. But not here. Score more goals. It doesn't matter.
But I think, from being around the camp and all that, I think one thing to point out is, I'm sure even if people out there follow players on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and all that, it really seems like there's a tight bond. It's almost like the World Cup last year.
Or even the Copa Oro. If you remember that the dynamic of the Copa Oro players when they're coming to the bus and they're making everybody dance. Hey, Chicharito.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, Salcido. And then they're and everyone's get up there. Herrera.
Yeah.
And it's just like you see pictures. One of the pictures, if you've seen it already, it's like Giovani dos Santos is asleep and he's like. And everyone's just making fun. I feel it looks like the group is when they need to have fun, they're having fun, and when they need to be serious, like they showed, in against Cuba, they were serious. I like that.
Yeah, I reckon the key there as well, because we've seen it from the World Cup, so it's not a massive surprise. You know what I mean? I mean that group went to the World Cup, and now they're back, and they're obviously all get on like Raúl, Moreno, Chicharito. But the key I think is Vela.
Yeah,
you think because Vela's come in there now. And it just seems like from the photos he's posted, I mean, he doesn't speak to the press. He just, every time he has to walk past the press, everybody's there, Carlos, because everyone wants to be the first one to speak to him. Yeah. And you have to ask him, you have to try and get him. So it's Carlos. And he just puts a massive smile on, gives him a wave and just like walks past everyone.
He actually, there was, on the last Friday, someone almost talked to him. And I forget who it was, but he like waited. But like this person was in the back, and they tried like moving around to get close to him, and then he just kind of like smiled, and gave him a thumbs up, and just kept walking by.
Yeah, bring a basketball sign.
Oh yeah, tell him that.
Like, and be like, "Hi, I'm from the Miami Heat. We would love to talk to you. We're at the Heat of the World Cup. Carlos Vela, what do you have to say?" So what do you like about Fernando?
So those 3 years. Look,
right here on the Mexican Soccer Show, Carlos Vela is going to say why. Perfect. I mean, we need it.
But the fact that he's integrated, the fact he's back, he's obviously massive because we can debate it. But for me, he's the best player in this club. But he's just unbelievable. I don't know, just watching the couple of games live recently, it's like I just could watch him all day. It's like on the ball is unbelievable. Like his passing, his vision is incredible, and I think more than anything that I don't know. Sometimes you don't get off the TV, but his ability to kind of drift away from defenders and create space. Yeah. And drift into space, receive the ball, and that opens up space for other people coming through. And I think he's just so intelligent as a player. Love watching him.
I think he can still finish as a top goal scorer too. Let's not forget in the last 2 games he's hit the post 3 times. Yeah. So he should have had the post. Yeah, he loves the post right now. So he obviously has ability. But he could have easily had 3 goals in the last 2 games. Very true. Yeah.
Anyone else that you're seeing just kind of quiet, very, when you're watching them during the practice, kind of by itself, or maybe away from one? I don't know. I haven't seen a lot from Ochoa. Obviously, he didn't do anything against Cuba.
Yeah, he was warming up. It was pretty good.
I wanted to ask him about where he got his tickets for his match, because I really definitely want, goalie tickets, because he didn't do anything, just watching it. But anything you see around the camp that's just kind of a question or anything like that?
I can't really think of anything. I mean, the first it has nothing to do with the camp. But I mean, once again, just going back to defense,
physical trainer.
That phone, the physical trainer. Giver, yeah.
The one weird thing is, and I think it's at the moment positive, is that Chicharito's still there. Yeah. And I think Moreno's still there as well. Yeah. When you think about it, it's pretty weird that. I mean, he's injured, he's recovering. It's like you'd expect him to kind of go back to his club or go back to Guatemala.
You think Manchester United want him right now?
You really think Manchester? Yeah, let's go take care of him. We haven't seen it. From what FMF said was that they called their clubs and they said they renegotiated that with the doctor. Is going to be here. He's going to work with the doctor on the physical thing. Yeah. Is it important that the Chicharito's there? I think so.
Yeah, it's huge. Really, like I said, but he represents so much, not just on the field, but like off field. He's a symbol. He's like he is sometimes seen as a Mexican national team. Yeah. I don't think it's that weird. I think it's good. I think it's excellent that he's there. And I think he's there for the support as well.
But it's like Neymar, for example, in the Copa America. Yeah. No, he left because he's had. I suppose he's not even really played Chicharito much in Europe. So maybe I don't know. It's not that gap. I think for me, it's like sometimes players need a mental break. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's why in Europe now it's like 4 weeks break, absolute nothing. 4 weeks, and every player needs that once a year.
But do you think maybe that's he want to be there?
Yeah, he wants to be there.
I think he wants to be there.
I think from that side, it's a really positive.
Yeah,
it shows the most important players wants to be.
Who would be like, all right, well, I got injured, I'm out. He wouldn't make a big deal. He is injured, but at the same time, he wants to be there. Yesterday when Mexico arrived, if you saw some of the Twitter videos we put on Mexican Soccer Show, Chicharito with the fans.
Yeah.
Maybe it's his duty.
Yeah.
Hey, you're injured. Go. So they're going to go Chicharito because he signed phones, shoes, shirts, bras. Not bras.
Whoa, let me know.
That was in Weasel's
I
head.
was like, yeah, like it looks like he was there. Giovani dos Santos was also signing. But Hector Moreno was taking pictures with Pancho Villa's army. Say hello to Wilito, was there at the hotel. So maybe that's his job. You are now the fan director.
But going back to I think he does want to be there. It's just that's his work type. Like he's always like the hardest working player. He wants to be a member of the national. He's obviously a proud member of the team too. It does. I think he definitely wants to be out there. Yeah.
Well, good. Let's talk about any news.
Couple of messages here.
Yeah.
Jonathan dos Santos needs to start. He plays defense and can handle the ball. Links well with Velo. Fair enough. And
it's just difficult because with him and Gaito, it almost feels too defensive. And against, like I said, the next a few games will be okay, but maybe against someone against like Costa Rica or like US, a little harder to break them. Like if we have Jonathan there, but I think for now, I think it's fine.
Yeah. Raul saying he loved Layun's comment about Donald Trump.
Yeah.
What was that all about?
Yeah. Oh,
obviously Donald Trump is here in Phoenix.
Donald Trump's not the most popular, is he, with Mexico?
No. Donald Trump, if you've obviously feeling, not to get too political, Donald Trump is here. In fact, he's about 20 minutes away from here. He's right in front of your hotel.
He's right in front of my hotel.
Right,
I should go say hi.
Let's see if they let you. We should come in and do a Mexican soccer show right in front of the Donald Trump. Yeah, Donald Trump is here. Obviously, all the immigrant, ignorant, comments that he said. Yeah. Obviously, with the Latino community, with Mexicans, and Layun. Tell me about what happened.
So reporter asked him, just like, what are your thoughts on Donald Trump's comments, what he said, blah blah. And Layun said, just in essence, he said that like he doesn't deserve his words or his. I forget exactly what it was. We can pull it up right now, but it was essentially saying that he doesn't care at all about Donald Trump, and he doesn't deserve his time or his words. I believe was his time or his words.
Okay.
Yeah,
not deserving of my time or
words. With somebody says something stupid, give him the time. That's exactly what he wants.
Yeah,
that's exactly what he wants.
Yeah.
Donald Trump wanted us to spend 5 minutes talking about Donald Trump in the Mexican soccer show.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's definitely going to be president now.
Oh my god. Let's just stop. Let's go to something.
All right, let's talk about the game. Let's talk about any news that are coming up. There were we saw other teams. We saw the U.S., Tom, from what you were saying, using some alternate players for their second game. And it would kind of look like, Klinsmann. We kind of saw that having, only 3 days to rest, traveling 2 days out of it. Would be related, but it looks like Cuba's going to start pretty much the same players. From what you see?
Yeah, against Guatemala, it looks like it's going to be very similar. And I think that's Piojo's style. And once he gets something that works, I think he's set on it.
Yeah.
And I think over with the US, I mean, there is an argument that against Guatemala, that the heat in Phoenix, I know we were joking about on the start of the show, but is intense.
But the games will be indoors, so like
Yes. Oh my goodness, there's no way. The game, it's 75 degrees. It's gonna be nice. Don't worry about it.
75. That's so warm. I'm sweating right here.
Not 75 here. Well, that light right there is what you're sweating about. Anyway, we have a giant sun that we put here. I mean, this is not natural light. Can you imagine trying to sleep here? But yeah, it's gonna be indoors, so don't worry, guys. We're gonna be okay.
But I mean, there is the argument that obviously it's the last stage of the competition when the big games are. You want your players to be as fresh as possible. So Klinsmann, as Klinsmann does, he just throws out wild, just wild things from nowhere. You can never predict anything that Klinsmann does. And he rested some players in the second game, which is one way going about it. I don't think Piojo's going to do that. If they win, I just can't see.
Maybe there's yellow cards. Maybe there's yellow cards in this game.
Yeah, I'll say we didn't get a single yellow in the last.
Yeah, for whatever reason, the third game is, and you already have it set. You're ready to go. The third game is usually time to rest players.
Yeah,
we've seen that in the World Cup. We've seen that in Copa America.
Yeah, the problem with Mexico's group compared to the US is that I think Trinidad are going to beat Cuba pretty convincingly. tomorrow in Phoenix.
So it's for first place.
And then it'll be Mexico, Trinidad for first place.
And
So
Trinidad's going to give us problems. I think we're still going to win the game. I think it's going to be a narrow. I think it's going to be a narrow victory. But I can see Trinidad and Tobago giving us a lot of problems.
Yeah,
and like we were talking about earlier, like
they beat us in 2006 in the qualifier.
I mean, and the way that they were playing Guatemala, they were pushing off the ball. They were aggressive. They were physical. And I think Mexico struggles against teams a little bit more physical, a little bit more aggressive.
They can play it as well.
I think it's a difference when they struggle, but I feel like we do well ultimately with the possession. Yeah. They struggle, but I think it feels they're okay.
But like I think that what Cesar was saying, the fundamental is that I think we saw it in Trinidad against Guatemala.
Yeah.
From those first group games that Trinidad's a cut above.
They scored 3 goals. They scored 3 goals in like 25 minutes against
Guatemala's. Like just their defense in those 3 goals was just horrendous.
Yeah.
But I mean, just
they're not that good.
Yeah. But they're still probably a little better than Cuba.
You're true. I mean, we saw that.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be interesting. I think a lot of people are looking at the Guatemala game because they're losing 3-0. They lost to Trinidad. I don't think it's gonna be in the soccer Guatemala. I don't think it's gonna be that easy of a game.
I think it will.
Yeah.
I think Mexico are just better by a distance all over the field. And I don't think Guatemala's style will cause Mexico any problems.
No? Yeah.
I think they'll. I mean, don't get me wrong. The professional players, I think, like 2-3-0. You know what I mean? But I think it's going to be a comfortable Mexico going to absolutely dominate possession.
Kind of almost the same as...
I think it'll be a little bit more difficult. I think if you look at their roster, they have a little bit more talent. Maybe they'll sneak something in against us.
And here's the only reason I think it's going to be a little more difficult. Everybody gives them. Guatemala can turn it up against Mexico.
Yeah.
It's you've seen it, Central America. It becomes number 1, number 2. Guatemala needs to get a point.
Yeah.
Or they don't go to the next round. I mean, I think they're going to play. I think towards the end we're going to be able to get them. Yeah. I feel that they're going to come out. Yeah. They're motivated. They have Pescadito Ruiz, who's played Mexico, who's played in Mexico.
36-year-old, 35-year-old. I know.
I really have always liked Pescadito Ruiz. The guy's golazos. But we've seen him before, but I feel like he's going to get everybody pumped up. Maybe the quality's not there, but con ganas and with heart, I think they're going to give Mexico a little bit of difficulty, but it's not going to be where, a 1-1 or whatever, but they're going to go.
I mean, Mexico played them earlier, about 2 months ago, and I can't remember who was exactly, but I think even Lalo Herrera was scored scored 2 goals. I'm pretty sure it's I'm pretty sure he was able to score 2 goals against them. So.
Clásico Maya.
Yeah, I don't think I could see something very similar. I think it's be 3-0, 4-0. I don't think it's be 6-0. I don't think it'll be as ridiculous as that. But you're going to see another game. There's going to be a lot of crosses. It's going to be the same thing. It's almost like Mexico's playing with 2 defenders, like Unagi pressing really high up.
My whistle down was like predictions have been on point with this goal.
All right, so let's hear it.
I'll give a prediction now, but I feel like it's going to take us a little while to score a little longer.
You think so?
I think it's going to be 30, and people are going to be like, there's still not lots of misses, but I feel like then the pace that Guatemala is going to run out of.
Yeah,
they're going to run out of fuel. They can't do it. There is no water in the atmosphere here, guys. So you cannot hydrate like you normally do in other places. By 45th, by coming in the second half, I think that's where Mexico comes in and scores.
All right. So what's your predicted score? I know we usually say this till later, but we're talking here.
All right, Guatemala, I'm thinking it's going to be, I share with the goals, but I don't think it's going to be right off the bat.
Yeah.
So, cause some controversy with Mexico only beating Guatemala 2-0.
2-0?
Yeah. I just...
Okay. I'm shooting for 3-1. I think 3-1.
With Pescadito.
I think something's gonna. No, I think I'm still worried about our defense. I think that they haven't been given a true test just yet, and maybe we're gonna see something bad happen. Just someone's gonna sneak by. So I think I'm shooting for 3-1.
Okay. I'm going 3-0.
3-0. There we go.
Yeah, I think Mexico are just by far a better team in Guatemala. Yeah, it's the first team. I think they played together now. They've got a few games under the belt. They're fit. They've got the fans up 55,000 tickets. It's going to be 60,000 there tomorrow.
Yeah,
90% Mexico.
And you know what? You can see it, and it wouldn't be a surprise if it's a 6-0 game. Really wouldn't. That's what I don't like about these predictions because you can see any score. Yeah. I'm giving that 2-0, just kind of throwing a different thing. But if it's a 6-0, I'd be like, that sounds about right. The way we saw Guatemala, something else, a 1-0 or whatever we're at. So,
Yeah, well, it was Tom and I were talking to a couple of fans before the last game. Some were saying 7-0, 8-0, everything. No, that's ridiculous.
I said 14.
Yeah, and then after the first few goals, maybe it's gonna be a double-digit game. Yeah.
Let's talk about what we're seeing in the pairing. What you saw in the last game and translating to this game, Peralta starting and with Vela.
Yeah.
And now once again repeating, which is good. In the second game, we'll look what is that. How's that working, especially the partnership and what they? I mean, intentionally it was going to be Chicharito and Vela since from whatever, but now Vela and Gio sitting out.
Yeah, it's a big debate. So if you're on the comment section, let us know what you think. Who would you prefer? Carlos Vela and Olivier Peralta.
And is there a chance for three of them again?
We saw that. I mean, we saw that a little
Vela
bit.
Giovani.
We saw that a little bit in the last game where we just kind of switched to it looked like a 4-3-3.
Yes.
Peralta had the most shots. Why?
Because I mean he was tailing
positions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, can you really see Gio if Vela moves into Peralta at 9 role, because Peralta does that so well? That's what Chicharito did really well.
Yeah.
You're gonna see that role score more.
Well, yeah, I think what
if Gio moves in, can Vela take that? Can he just stay in the box? Because I feel he's always the type of guy that makes a run.
But both of them will be. I mean, the thing is, I think Herrera wants a number 9 that stretches the opposition defense, that's in place, and that occupies the player so that Vela can get some freedom to move around. But I think we saw Giovanni and Vela that disallowed goal. I mean, they've just got some chemistry.
Oh, yeah, great chemistry.
Yeah. I mean, Gio had an immediate impact. He had like a cameo role.
Yeah, but he's on form.
Yeah,
we've seen in these qualifying games, the preparation games, and when he came on the other night, I mean, Herrera, another great comment from Herrera. He said he was asked, "Oh, Giovanni, how's he taking, not being a starter?" And Herrera said, look at his attitude when he comes on.
Yeah.
That's how he's taking it. And
Yeah.
that was brilliant.
When he scored, then he got in, and he was like, and he was because we know it was a great play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He scored again, and you just saw Gio's like, I want to see,
Yeah.
I want to see,
Yeah.
just
I mean, I think in terms of entertainment,
they can't all start.
No, I mean, I think in terms of entertainment, Vela and Giovanni.
Yeah.
Let's see what he can do. Like I don't, and I know Herrera wants this like number 9, or it seems like he does.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting also to have 2 players that can drop off and that can kind of create space for each other, and 2 players with chemistry, because that's important as well.
So you're saying almost like it would be we could try something
2
like
false 9s.
Okay. 2 false 9s. Yeah, so it's like a 4-3-2, like a 4-3-2-1 kind of situation that we got going.
No, like 4-4-2.
But 4-4.
The
false
2
9s.
So 2 false 9s.
So pretty much a 4-4.
A 4-4. I mean, here's the thing with Peralta. I think
4-6.
it's gonna. Dude, might as well do it. I think Peralta's gonna keep scoring. I think he's gonna do well. But like I said, once we're gonna hit those tougher teams, I don't know if we're gonna have as many chances we're having now. And let's not forget that he missed some crucial opportunities.
But he's
So
done
did
it.
Vela. He didn't miss a
Vela ended up looking a lot better than Peralta did, and he didn't miss.
Really?
I think
he scored a hat trick. Says that.
Yeah, but
and he should have had a 6. Out of his. I know
But
he
he
had easy,
yeah.
but who else didn't miss him?
Yeah.
But Vela also missed a 1-on-1.
Yeah.
I was surprised that he didn't get that, a 1-on-1.
Really?
So I'm like, I'm telling you, I think if Peralta's in the game, he's going to score more.
This is where
I mean, put anyone up there right now.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, put some. Now, if Vela moves to that role, but I think Peralta's going to keep scoring, especially against this bigger team.
All right. Cesar's right. He did miss chances that he should have put in, and he could have had more goals. But the other way of looking at it is like the flip side to it is that he's coming off the back of not a great season with America.
Yeah.
His history with the national team is brilliant.
Yeah, it is.
His ratio is brilliant.
Hey,
When he's been called upon, he's produced.
And he was key in late 2013. He was definitely one of the more important players. Right?
And so therefore, moving forward, he's got a hat trick under his belt now, and now he's going to have a bit of confidence going forward. I mean, I think that would be the positive spin of that Cuba game for Peralta.
Yeah.
But
He still missed some bad opportunities. I know Vela missed some too, but I think some of the stuff that Peralta missed was it was simple stuff. He should have been able to finish a couple of those opportunities. And I'm just going to be worried in the future if we don't get nearly as many chances, the 44 shots that we had, and he misses 1 or 2 of those key opportunities. I think it could hurt Mexico a lot in the future. But within the next few rounds, it's gonna work. We can put anyone out there. Like I said, I keep making the joke. Let's just start Yasser Corona and striker. See what happens. He's gonna score. So it's gonna be pretty simple for now. Yasser Corona.
Yasser.
What about Giovanni? Obviously on the bench for Mexico, but starter for Los Angeles Galaxy.
Go ahead and say it.
Is he going to be a starter, Lisa? You're going to be taking regular trips to LA?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. If Gio actually starts playing for the MLS, as much as us, I don't want it, whatever, people are going to watch.
Yeah.
I watched Cuauhtemoc in Chicago, and that was like my first MLS game. I remember New England Revolution playoff game that they went. I'm like, let's go see what Temo does. And it was just interesting to say. Gio goes to LA Galaxy. I hope, and I keep saying, I hope he doesn't. And sorry to the MLS fans.
Well, why do you hope he doesn't?
Because I think it's too soon for his career. I think he's 26. He going to the MLS right now. There's not the coaching. There's not the rhythm. There's not the level of play, and not that.
I think it's getting much better.
It's getting much better.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
If right now Gio was going to the Monterrey, I would be saying the same thing. It has nothing to do with MLS. I'd be like, bad rhythm, bad coaching. Like I'd be saying the same thing. Gio coming back is a failure to Mexico. Getting a payout for 7-10 million or whatever it is, and I know we've discussed it, and everybody has their thoughts. I just don't think that.
I think Chicharito would be a failure. I think that would be really, really awful to see him come to MLS. But Gio, I mean, where would he actually go if he was in Europe?
Well,
like, do we really think he would do we really think he would step up from a team like Villarreal at this point?
No, but at the same time, staying at going to another team, maybe in Italy, maybe like even if it's a Real Sociedad type, or Valencia.
Hugo Sanchez was saying it. He's saying Gio, and he was pretty funny because he did a video on ESPN. He was talking into the camera. It's like Big Brother. Like, Gio, don't go. If you don't come back to Mexico, don't go to MLS.
Yeah.
Later on you can come back and take.
I do think that he still has the talents to stay in Europe. He definitely does.
Of course he does.
But I don't think it would be and I used to think it would be a massive failure if Gio would ever come to MLS. But the more I think about it, yeah, I know, I like the earthquakes. It's all right. You guys should have seen some of the comments Lisa and I were.
We watched the earthquake against.
What is it? Against the Houston Dynamo.
The Timbers?
The Houston Dynamo.
Okay.
But the more I think about it, the more I don't think it would be that much of a failure for Giovanni to come to MLS.
I think it's not ideal. That's the way I look at it. It's not ideal, and I think that at the same time, he's come up from Barcelona.
Yeah.
To be fair to him, this is compared to other Mexican players. Yeah. He's been there in Europe since he was a teenager.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's gone through the system, and therefore, I don't know. Is it as bad as him coming back this side of the Atlantic to a player who's like Aquino, who's gone there, completely failed, and then just jumped back? You know what I mean? I don't know.
No, you know what? It's kind of different. Like Aquino's was a failure for not being able to do it. If Gio comes back, I think it's just a decision because it's going to another team, another league, and maybe he's going to kill it. Maybe he's going to have records, and he's going to be the next Cuba Torres point two.
Cuba Torres.
Oh man, Cuba Torres. But I just. I just don't. I think he could go to Italy. I think, and this is what I'm saying. I'm like, there's no clubs. Is he that expensive? Because that's what's happening to Mexican players, right? They're wanting a lot, and because of the marketing, because of the T-shirt, because of whatever, they're not worth the 10 million. Like, is Gio worth 10 million to go to Valencia? No, they're not gonna pay him.
No. There's no guarantee he's starting.
He's not gonna get. And at the same time, he's not gonna start. So that's why he's saying it now. $6 million. I mean, even going Monaco, like even it's just like Champions League. I know. There's Shakhtar. Like I'm just saying, like staying in that at least some kind of competitive
I think, like I said, I think he still has talents to stay in Europe. He does, but like I said, I also think that it wouldn't be as big of a deal. For MLS, it would be massive. And I think that's MLS is looking for. They've been looking for a Mexican player like that who's at their prime or close to their prime, and because there's people like me a few years ago who would have never watched the league, and by him joining, there's gonna be so many people who are gonna be watching, maybe through that.
Not just here though, as well in Mexico as well.
People watch it. Yeah,
of course. Would watch it all the time. If Giovanni was there.
Yeah,
no.
I mean, when Beckham went to the Galaxy, where were you watching it, Tom?
Just a couple of games.
Just a couple of games.
I mean, but he was out of the England team.
Yeah.
By that time.
Not the Olympic squad, there, right? He ended up going back to the Olympics.
But that's what I'm saying.
But Giovanni would be in the Mexico squad, therefore he's relevant.
I know. I'm kind of I want to
You're
ask.
angry.
I want to
Angry
ask.
weasel.
I am angry. I want to ask Piojo what he really thinks about Giovani. I know he gives us this crap answer. Well, it's a growing league.
Piojo's only had good things to say.
Exactly, but how can he go like that against Layun going to a bad team?
Piojo, sometimes his opinions I don't
know. You remember what he said about Layun going to Watford?
Yeah.
I was pissed too when he, excuse me my language, but I was mad too when he went to Watford. I think he could have played in your opinion, second division.
Hey, they made it
or MLS.
No, I'd say second division.
Yeah.
So I can just see if Piojo is that upset about Layun going to the second division.
Yeah.
One of his best players like Gio going to the MLS, he must be furious, just like the way he was. Or get some money in there. Yeah. Piojo has to say the right thing so he doesn't screw this contract. I mean, whatever happens in the dealings with the MFMF. But I'm surprised that Piojo hasn't said anything about Gio going over there because I think it's bad for the national team.
I think right now is not a good time to say any comments about that. Like I think he's probably being smart. He's probably he's already said some controversial stuff anyways. He probably has to be cool.
That's why the Gio thing hasn't said yet. I mean, just waiting for the Gold Cup.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Herrera honestly believes it.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's like going back to the US, like Clinton has this massive thing where it's like he hates players coming to MLS.
Yeah. Oh,
but at least whether you're for that or you're against it, at least Clinton's got a very set kind of philosophy about how he wants the American players to develop. Where I don't think Herrera at the minute in Mexico kind of do. I mean, Herrera's been saying. He said he wants more players in Europe, and then when they come back, he has no problem. And then we go back to the New Zealand in 2013. He didn't pick any, and he was kind of like, all the European-based players have to prove to me they deserve to be in there. And he
didn't say if he knew his team, they could be doing that. And it's not about a Mexico team, because we follow the Mexican national team. But I thought when Bradley came back, even Dempsey came back, I thought it was a.
They've been doing really well in MLS.
I'm not saying. I just think it has nothing to do with it. I just feel like I think Bradley could still play in a team.
I'll tell you what. It's a bit of an aside, but when it comes to qualifying, it is a bit worried that from Mexico. Like the fact that the US now has got so many players in MLS, and they're not going to have long journeys. And then how many out of Mexico starting 11? What is it, like 7-8 Europe-based players?
Yeah,
but overall, that's what you think. These are high competitive.
No, yeah,
leagues,
they should be over there.
games.
I mean, people know what I think, but and a lot of people on Twitter completely criticize it. But I think Mexico will be a world power in the game when it has a significant amount of players,
coaches,
playing at the top level of the game, which is for whether you like it or not in Europe.
Yeah,
it's true. I don't think anybody that doesn't think that we should have more players in Europe. I know.
Everyone come to Earthquakes will be fine. Just, we'll have some young guys over there. It'll be great.
Mourinho goes to the Earthquakes. Go ahead, Gio.
Got Bruce.
Bruce said it.
I wonder how he'd get on with Gio. Gio still apparently likes to party. So LA.
Maybe that's why he wants to go to LA.
Well, I've heard there's some partying going down there in LA.
Really? In LA? Is it a big city?
One or two spots.
Two spots.
Is it a big city?
One, maybe two.
I've heard it's quite significant in terms of size and partying.
Well, we went a little bit on the Gio tangent, but it's glad to have these guys' opinion. Definitely like to hear your opinion on the chat. Tweet us on what you think. Obviously, I'm sure you've already voiced your opinion on Twitter about Gio. I'm still hoping that he doesn't. Hopefully, maybe another team offers him $6 million in
$6 million. $6 million.
Who's
gonna give him $6 million?
I'm just
China.
See
Mexico. But the other thing that I heard about Gio is that Tigres wanted it, and Tigres made a massive offer for Gio. Villarreal accepted.
Yeah.
And actually, I heard this information, and then a Spanish newspaper published it like a few weeks ago. And so it seems to fit because it was before Gignac, it was before Uche as
well. If I remember correctly, they were looking for both of the brothers, weren't they? They were looking for Gio and Jonathan.
Jonathan's more been linked with Monterrey.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that'd be great.
That would be fantastic to have
that one
from rival teams.
Rival teams. Hey, why not?
But
probably still live in the same house.
Yeah. But they
own a bar. Oh wait, they own
they own the restaurant
in
in
Barcelona.
The Mexican restaurant.
Well, lots about Gio, lots of talk. You know, Guatemala game on Sunday. We invite just a little plug right here for Pancho Villa's Armies. We'll probably be at the pool party tonight if you're here in Phoenix.
Yeah, cooling down, man. Yeah,
residents.
You know,
residents in by the. Definitely look at the Facebook. We're all going to be there. There should be a lot of people there having fun. So shout out to Sergio, Abuelito, all those guys from Pancho Villa's who are going to be there.
Yeah.
But we talked about predictions. We talked about the team. What's the plan today? Today we will be
heading out in about an hour.
Heading out to the stadium. Mexico plays. I mean, trains. We're supposed to train. Yeah, we're supposed to train.
In the gym. They're going to be training at some point.
Yeah. Well,
we don't know where yet.
Initially, it was open to the media. It usually last 15 minutes. We can go in there and we get some. It's a mix zone. We can talk to some players. But we got the email this morning that they're not doing that. Guatemala isn't doing that. They're keeping it secretive. You know these two world power teams don't want each other to find out what they're going to do. So we're not going to be able to have any video or anything like that of training, which is kind of disappointing. But there will be a press conference. Press conference scheduled for 5:30 here in Phoenix. Yeah. Be interesting to have probably again Guardado maybe come out, or is it just Piojo?
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I have no clue.
Last time they did Guardado as well, but I think it might just be Piojo.
What are some things that we want to ask? Definitely, if you're on the chat, give us some question ideas.
Starting lineup
of what we see. It's kind of already in Twitter. We talked about it a little bit. Vasquez might be coming in.
Yeah.
If he's still not 100%, let's rest him.
Yeah. I would have no problem with resting him. Even if there was just the slightest of worries, just because he could be a key player later, but like against Guatemala, like there may not be too much of a need for. Yeah. I mean, I think Mexico needs a defensive midfielder, but it doesn't have to be on the same level as Vasquez. We have someone like Rios coming in. I think we'd be all right.
Very funny comment that I just saw. Anyone who doesn't think we need more players in Europe is probably a Liga MX team owner. From Raul Barras on the chat. Sorry about that.
I agree.
But other than that, there will be the games tomorrow. It's almost sold out, 55,000. Right now, I think
we just got an email so that they're approaching 55,000 tickets, which I'm pretty sure they probably already passed anyways. Yeah.
And it should be big atmosphere. It is a Sunday game, so families, I think, people are going to go crazy, and it's not a midweek game like sometimes they do, right? But it should be fun for us. And coverage-wise, you've seen Tom. Tom's with ESPN FC is doing an amazing job with some videos with Mr. Johnson, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, good experience.
I pop up my ESPN online and there's Tom, and it's perfect. I know Tom's going to be some Cesar.
I'll be there watching Tom do the videos. I'll be doing the player ratings though, so if any of you guys are angry about some of our player ratings.
Cesar
Each football.
Cesar giving a 9.5 to Memo.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you can rate us
on the show.
All right.
Give us ratings.
Yeah, we still didn't like his V-neck today. I want to give him a 4.
Cesar was sweating too much. He can't take the heat of Phoenix.
Player ratings.
Yep.
We got some articles coming up, especially tonight. I'll be following the team, giving you guys more of those videos. Definitely, tweet out what you want to see. We'll be hopefully trying to get some of the press conference live on the Mexican Soccer Show if we can, if it's allowed. But there's a lot of coverage going on, especially here in Phoenix. Then after Guatemala, guys, you're Charlotte, right?
Yep, heading over to Charlotte.
On
Monday, yeah.
You're going to compare the heat from here to Charlotte. You're going to be like, you know what?
No, I know it's going to be humid, and it's going to be terrible. Humidity. It's just going to be all there's just going to be sweat, just like everything. Yeah.
But Trinidad and Tobago, hopefully no yellow cards. And if we're seeing, I think that's where we can, I know that Trinidad is going to be probably a harder game, but I think that's maybe where there might be some players that are resting if we have a comfortable enough lead.
I don't know. I think you want to finish top of the group because it'll clear the path to avoid Costa Rica. Well, it depends because Costa Rica drew.
We'll see how the game is.
Even then,
we'll see how the game is tomorrow. I think that depends a lot. Like if Trinidad and Tobago ends up losing the game, maybe Piojo will be a little bit more likely to use some substitutions.
Yeah, Cuba's going to be Trinidad.
Did you never know?
Mexico lose to Guatemala.
Oh, Tom, come on! Don't be saying that stuff, man. Don't be saying that.
This has been the Mexican half. Well, definitely would see. on what's going to happen in the next couple of days. Mexico has a long break, though.
What do you mean about that?
After this game, when's the next game?
I haven't looked. I don't think it's that long of a break.
It's Wednesday.
Oh, I thought it was. For some reason, I thought it was longer
I
than.
think it's the 15th. Yeah, it's only 3 days.
Yeah, that's about the same thing. Yeah.
All right. Oh, I think it was.
Should we head over to see what Trinidad and Tobago and
let's
see how many Cuban players are actually
they're supposed to already be here. Anything on Cuba?
I'm not
Players?
sure yet.
After the game, I was like, well, that's enough Cuba research for me.
Well,
Like,
I'm sure we'll have some Snapchats, some Periscope
I'll be
action
Snapchatting
following
Periscope,
us.
Yeah.
I'll have some video. I'll do some more of the videos that I did kind of like yesterday following. So definitely keep following us and ask more questions. But guys, awesome. Thank you for coming to my mini little
your studio
/ bed over there. We don't get. Last time we did this, it was a lot of fun in San Francisco when we did this in the Chile game in the stadium, and then all of a sudden, if you were watching
I think it was Michael Jackson came on.
Michael Jackson came on, and we had to stop the game, the show. But a lot of fun. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Cesar. We'll be doing more shows hopefully before the next game. Monday nights usually when we do our show. It all depends on how these guys might be traveling. So definitely stay tuned on any of the new shows. And then definitely before the next game, we'll have something, our highlights or post-game reactions from Guatemala. But Phoenix, drink a lot of water. And we'll see you guys later. And definitely keep on with the Mexican Soccer Show, guys.
All right.
All right. It's getting kind of hard. There we go.
You have to end it right there.
I got to go later.